The morning sun spilled across the quiet street, but inside a small corner coffee shop, tension brewed heavier than the scent of roasted beans. A woman in a sleek black coat sat alone at a corner table, her face partly hidden beneath oversized sunglasses. She looked like she wanted peace, but instead, she became a target. Two impatient men at the counter mocked her when she didn't respond fast enough to their crude remarks. Their voices rose, turning the air sharp with disrespect, until a man no one expected to stand tall stepped in. He wasn't dressed in wealth, nor did he carry authority in his voice, but he had the kind of strength that didn't need display. His name was Marcus, a single father who worked double shifts to make ends meet, and in that moment, he couldn't stay silent. Friends, before I continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and standing up for what is right, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Your support helps us bring more stories like this to light. Marcus had been rushing that morning, his shirt slightly wrinkled, hair still damp from a quick shower after dropping his daughter off at school. He only came into the coffee shop to grab a black coffee before his construction job started. But when he saw the way those men leaned over the woman, their mocking laughter growing louder, something inside him refused to just walk away. He stepped forward, his deep voice steady but commanding. "That's enough. Leave her alone." His tone cut through their sneers, and when they turned to laugh at him instead, Marcus didn't back down. Though he didn't throw a punch, his stance, the quiet fire in his eyes, and the sincerity of his words made it clear he was ready to protect her. The men scoffed, muttered insults, and stormed out, embarrassed to be challenged by someone who looked like he had little power at all. The woman finally lifted her head fully, revealing a face far more striking than anyone inside had expected. Her eyes glistened not just with gratitude but with something Marcus couldn't quite place. Loneliness, perhaps. She gave him a soft nod and whispered, "Thank you." Marcus simply tipped his head and walked away, coffee in hand, not realizing he had just altered the course of his entire life. Marcus's life was anything but easy. A single father to a bright 9-year-old daughter named Chloe, he lived paycheck to paycheck. His days began before sunrise and ended late at night, leaving him exhausted but determined. He carried the weight of being both mother and father after Chloe's mother walked out years ago, unable to handle the hardships of responsibility. Every dollar he earned went toward rent, groceries, and Chloe's schooling. His boots were worn, his back often ached, but he refused to let his daughter see him crumble. To her, he was strong, unshakable, and her hero. Meanwhile, the woman he defended that morning was far from ordinary. Her name was Celeste, and though her attire was understated, her reality was not. She was the youngest heir to a vast empire of hotels and investment firms, a billionaire who rarely moved without a team surrounding her. Yet, she had chosen to sit in that humble coffee shop alone, needing a break from her world of guarded walls and endless meetings. She wanted to feel normal, human. But when those men tried to strip that away with their crude behavior, it was a stranger. A single dad who had nothing to gain, who restored her faith in decency. Celeste could not forget Marcus, the way he stood tall without hesitation, the humility in his eyes when he didn't linger to impress her or ask her name. It all lingered in her mind. She found herself curious, then intrigued. Over the next week, she returned to that same coffee shop, hoping to see him again, and eventually, she did. Marcus walked in with his little girl one Saturday morning, their laughter soft and warm, filling the place like sunlight. Chloe clutched her father's calloused hand, chattering about a school project, while Marcus listened with patience only a devoted parent carried. Celeste's heart tugged. She watched Chloe climb onto a stool and giggle when her father gently tapped her nose. This was not a man consumed by bitterness or ego. This was a man who poured every ounce of love he had into his child. Celeste felt something stir inside her, a longing for the kind of genuine connection she had never known despite her billions. The coffee shop became their meeting ground. Slowly, Celeste introduced herself, first as just another customer. Marcus didn't recognize her wealth. To him, she was simply Celeste, a woman with kind eyes who sometimes joined them at the table. They spoke about small things at first: coffee flavors, Chloe's favorite books, Marcus's stories of working construction. But soon their conversations deepened. Celeste confessed her love for solitude, for the rare moments when she could escape her world. Marcus shared his dreams of one day giving Chloe a stable home where she wouldn't have to worry about rent being due. But Marcus carried insecurities he tried to hide. Though he admired Celeste, he often felt she was too refined, too graceful to belong in his world. He had nothing fancy to offer, no promises of wealth or comfort. His worth was measured in scraped knuckles and long shifts, not luxury. And so, while his heart quietly leaned toward her, he convinced himself she would never truly see him. Yet Celeste did see him. She saw the honesty, the unwavering strength, the father who carried his daughter's world on his shoulders. She saw more richness in him than in any man who had courted her with jewels and champagne. And though she longed to reveal who she truly was, fear held her back. Would Marcus still look at her the same way if he knew she was a billionaire? Or would he pull away, believing their worlds were too far apart? The turning point came one rainy afternoon. Chloe had forgotten her lunch at school, and Marcus, caught up in work, rushed over during his short break. Soaked to the bone, he still arrived smiling, handing her the packed meal he had scraped together. Celeste, who had followed quietly to drop off a book Chloe had borrowed, witnessed the entire scene. She saw Chloe's arms wrap around her father's neck, saw Marcus's eyes glisten with love even as he whispered apologies for being late. Celeste's heart broke and swelled at once. This was a man who deserved so much more than life had given him. That night, she made her choice. She invited Marcus and Chloe to dinner, not at a lavish hotel ballroom, but at a quiet family restaurant. Over warm plates of pasta, laughter filled the air. Celeste felt like part of a family she had never known, and when Chloe leaned against her shoulder, calling her Miss Celeste, something inside her melted beyond repair. The truth came out weeks later, not by Celeste's design but through a newspaper headline Marcus accidentally saw. There she was, Celeste Renford, billionaire heiress, photographed leaving a gala. Marcus's stomach dropped. He couldn't process it. All this time she had been someone else entirely. His chest ached with betrayal, not because she was rich, but because he believed he was never good enough for her world. He pulled back, keeping their meetings short, his voice clipped with walls of insecurity. But Celeste didn't give up. She showed up at the construction site one afternoon, unbothered by the mud clinging to her designer boots. She found Marcus, tired and covered in dust, and told him the truth, not the headline truth, but the real truth. That she had been lonely despite her fortune. That his kindness in the coffee shop had been the first time she felt safe in years. That she didn't care about wealth, but about the way he made her laugh, the way Chloe made her feel like she belonged somewhere. Tears streamed down her face as she told him she wasn't looking for perfection. She was looking for honesty, for love, for family. Marcus stood in stunned silence, his heart warring with fear and longing. But then Chloe ran up, hugging Celeste's waist, smiling brighter than the sun. "Daddy, can she stay with us? She feels like family." And in that innocent plea, Marcus realized the truth he had been blind to. Celeste had never wanted his riches. She wanted his heart. Their love didn't blossom in fireworks, but in quiet, steady moments, shared breakfasts, helping Chloe with homework, holding hands on walks home. Marcus learned to accept that worth wasn't measured in money, and Celeste discovered that the wealth she had always searched for was found in love, not gold. Together, they built something more valuable than empires, a home where kindness, respect, and devotion thrived. Dear friends, if this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Your support helps us spread more stories that remind the world of the power of love and humanity. And before we close, I have a special request. Comment below. Do you believe true love sees beyond money and status? Because sometimes, the richest hearts belong to those who have nothing to give but everything to share.